Hi viewers, welcome to another episode of Mandaramratam. In this episode, we would not just be seeing a temple but also hearing a story of a great devotee of Lord Muruga or Skanda, who happened to write the Tamil version of Kandapuranam, which is Kānchippuram Sivacharya. Kandapuranam is a Sundara Puranam. The reason why Kandapuranam is also called as Mangala Mangalya Puranam, it's because the marriages of goddess Parvati, goddess Devyanai and goddess Valli takes place in this Puranam. Kandapuranam is a very special Puranam. Kandapuranam was given to us by Kānchipuram Sivacharya, who was a great devotee of Lord Muruga. Sivacharya was very fortunate enough to do puja to Lord Muruga in this temple at Kumarakottam about 1100 years ago, which happened in this Kali Yuga. This temple is in Kānchipuram district today. Lord Muruga seemed to have punished Lord Brahma for his ignorance of the meaning of the Pranava mantra by a hard knock on his vortex with his fist and then imprisoned him. Later, he assumed the creation duties of Lord Brahma. In this Kumarakottam temple, it is believed that Lord Muruga installed himself in the sanctum in the creator, which is Brahmasthana form. Coming back to the story, Kānchippuram Sivacharya was a great Tamil scholar and even a great devotee. He was familiar with the languages of Sanskrit, Tamil, and many more. He was the son of Kalathiyappa Sivacharya. One day, Lord Muruga came in his dreams of Kānchiyappar along with a whale and a peacock. And the Lord Muruga, or Skanda, instructed Kānchipuram Sivacharya to write about the Skanda Puranam, what has happened. He further said there could be a reference which can be taken from the Sanskrit version of the Skanda Puranam. So he in fact gave him a word or a sentence to start with, which is Tigada Chakkara. According to the account of Kānchiyappa, each day he would write his inspired account of the career of Lord Muruga, the life of Lord Muruga, and in the evening he would deposit his day's work in the Mulasthanam of Lord Subramaniya at this temple, which is Kumarakottam. Each night, miraculously, the Lord Himself will modify Kānchipuram Sivacharya's manuscript with his own corrections. Hence, the Skanda Puranam is considered to be an absolute authority account of Lord Muruga's life, the career, bearing the seal of his approval of none other than the Lord Himself. Kānchipuram Sivacharya completed the work of the Skanda Puranam and he wished to publish it. In those days, before a scholar can publish any work, he has to read his work in front of the Sabha of Tamil Pandits. They will check whether the work is correct in terms of grammars and the meaning. The Pandit can ask a question at any point of time, point out even mistakes, Puratpuzhai or Ilakkanapuzhai in Tamil, or Sorkutram rather. One has to answer all their questions, convince them, then have it published. The day for Kānchipuram Sivacharya came, he went into the Sabha which was gathered in front of the king. The Sabha had great Tamil Pandits and religious scholars. In front of the Sabha, the Skanda Puranam, or rather Kandapuranam in Tamil, was getting ready to get the seal of acceptance of the kingdom. He paid respect to the king and to the Sabha and began reading it. The first sloka, which goes like this. Tigada Chakkara Semmugam Maindulan Sagada Sakkara Tamarai Nayagan Sagada Sakkara Vinmane Yavurai Vigada Sankaran Meipadam Potruvom. While this is a shloka, when Kānchipuram Sivacharya started the first sentence, Tigada Chakkara Semmugam Aindulan. Before he could even finish it, there was a lot of chatter in the Sabha. One such Tamil Pulavar or Pandit got up and he said, this first words of your work itself is a mistake. The word Tigada Chakkaram is not correct. There is no grammatical rule in Tamil that allows the formation of such a word. Kānchiyappar did respond that these words came from Lord Muruga himself. The first word is like a crown to this entire work. That day passed by And the very next day, Kānchipuram Sivacharya prayed to the Lord himself. The Lord did assure him that he himself would be coming in front of the Sabha in his dreams. The next day, the Sabha gathered. A new Pulavar or a Tamil Pandit was present in the Sabha. His face was as beautiful as the moon. His forehead was covered with a sacred ash. He was wearing a Rudraksha mala. He stood up and began to speak, saying that to everyone who is gathered here, I have come to answer the question which has been put forth by the Sabha yesterday. I come from the Chola kingdom. In my kingdom, there is a work which is known as Veerasoryam. In that book, the grammatical rule allows Tigal plus Tasam, Tigacham. So that is the first word of Kachiyapar, and it's pretty much right. Saying this, he brought in the proof of the manuscript. The other Pulavars did have a glimpse of it, and they felt that Kachiyapar was right. Having said that, the same day evening, Kachiyapar followed him, so did the other Pulavars. And this person just disappeared after going in the temple. Everyone started shouting Muruga, Kanda, and Kadamba. And that's the greatness of this temple as well. Though there is a Muruga temple, Lord Shiva, as Arunachaleshwarar, Appita Kuchambal, and Charabeshwarar in a pillar are also present over here. Kandapuranam, what we saw earlier, which was composed by the great saint scholar Kānchipuram Sivacharya, is said to have been done in the Kandapuranam Mandapam located in this temple. There is another legend which goes here. This temple is closely associated with Arunagirinadar, the famous Tamil poet who actually composed Tirupugar on Lord Murugan. He is said to have composed some of the Tirupugars over here as well. In this temple, it is also noteworthy that all the deities of Kānchipuram, when they come out in the procession during the festival, they have to pass through this Kumarakottam temple. Location of this temple is between Sri Ekambareswara temple and Kamakshi temple, which would remind a devotee of the Somaskanda form in which Lord Murugan is seated between Parvati Devi and Parameshwara. Please do visit this temple once the lockdown is lifted in Kānchipuram. Thank you and looking forward to see you in the next video. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe to Mandramritam.